Hello, everyone. So, this is the Guardian of the Sunday, 15th of October. And we are going to read something that is the hot topic of the year, you can say now. The Guardian view on Gaza's ground invasion. Things could spiral out of control. This is the editorial on the Guardian. Israelis' feelings of hurt cannot be underestimated, but military overreaction will only deepen the hatred between them and Palestinians. अब ये वाला आर्टिकल है थोड़ा सा ऐसे जो कि तुम उसको you need to understand it with a critical eye, right? So focus. When he says that feelings of hurt cannot be underestimated, ठीक है, माना इजराइल को बुरा लगेगा या वो hurt है, ठीक है, लेकिन मिलिट्री ओवर रिएक्शन अगर करेंगे तो फिर वो तो सभी लोगों को नुकसान पहुंचेगा. That is what it will only deepen the hatred between them and the Palestinians. So this overreaction or military overuse will not be helping anybody. ठीक है, वो प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करेगा इससे. यू कैन सी दिस सीन. Now, already thousands of Palestinians have been killed as Israeli jets and artillery pound the Gaza Strip. Pound करना मतलब ऐसे धम 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 करना. तो वैसे ही प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. That is called pounding. Artillery pound. आवाज होना. What started as a horrific attack against the civilians last week, when Hamas massacred more than 1,300 Israelis, is bringing horrible devastation to the coastal enclave. कोस्टल रीजन्स इतने प्यारे होते हैं, इतने नेचुरल ब्यूटी वाले होते हैं कि मतलब वहां पे आराम होना चाहिए. इससे क्या लड़ाई हो रही है? देखो इधर तुम. तो व्हाट इज दिस सेइंग? सिविलियंस को इतना सिविलियंस को मारा, 1,300 इजरायलीज को किया. As a result, what is happening? Horrible devastation to the coastal enclave. UN facilities have come under fire, journalists have been killed, and hospitals bombed. Israel has also acknowledged hitting targets without any warning, as was offered in the past. According to the country's leading human rights group, B'Tselem, Israel's bombing and blockade amounts to a criminal policy of revenge. Okay. From this only you can understand, from this sentence, part of the sentence, as was offered in the past. मतलब पहले वार्निंग देके फिर बॉम्ब गिराए जाते थे. अब देखो क्या हो रहा है, बिना वार्निंग के ही मारा जा रहा है. राइट, उन्होंने मैसेकर किया, ये बॉम्बिंग कर रहे हैं. सो इट इज लाइक टोटल डिवास्टेशन देयर, एंड इट इज क्लियरली a policy of revenge that they are coming up with. So, with a ground invasion imminent, many Palestinians have fled their homes. Imminent is near future, ekdam abhi aane wala hai, right? So, many Palestinians have fled their homes in response to Israel's demand that Palestinians in the north move south of the Wadi Gaza riverbed. But most of Gaza's hospitals are in the north, prompting the WHO to say the order is a death sentence to patients. Right? If they are in the north and they are told to move to the south, and the hospitals are there in the north, तो ये तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. तो डेथ सेंटेंस है. WHO ने कहा temporary removal of civilians in war zones can be lawful. Egypt reportedly is being offered a debt write-off if it accepts refugees, risking Cairo being complicit in forcing Palestinians out of Gaza for good. Risking Cairo being complicit, complicit का मतलब होता है कि वो उससे मिली भगत है. Right? They are forcing Palestinians out of Gaza for good, मतलब हमेशा के लिए. As Jan Egeland, Secretary of the Norwegian Refugee Council, said, without guarantees of safety or return, the evacuation order would amount to the war crime of forcible transfer. Right? इसका मतलब जबरदस्ती उनको एक एरिया से दूसरे एरिया में भेजा जा रहा है with no return policy. Possible? ऐसा लग रहा है, right? So this can be inferred from the paragraph. The worry is that Israel's call is less about protecting civilian lives and more an attempt to give itself a diplomatic cover for Palestinian deaths. That means it is trying to cover up that. What? The Palestinians' deaths. Shuttle diplomacy appears to be moderating its war plans. Southern Gaza will get water, though it remains without food, fuel, and electricity. Humanitarian corridors have allowed Gazans to head south, but the bombing of 70 civilians along a designated safe route, very probably by Israel munitions, has undermined faith in a secure flight. Right? छोटे से paragraphs से very beautifully constructed sentences you can say. Right? सिर्फ construction की बात कर रही हूँ, पर यहाँ पे उन्होंने कहा कि जो एक safe route था, वहां से जा रहे थे refugees, they were moving there and still they were killed. From this part you can understand that it is no more a secure flight, so they can't use that so called safe route also. So it is difficult for them now. Israel has a right to defend itself. International law allows for necessary and proportionate force in self defense. Proportionate होना चाहिए, necessary भी है. It does not permit collective punishment. Belatedly, Joe Biden has spelled out that the overwhelming majority of Palestinians had nothing to do with the massacres. Both the UK government and Labour agree and aren't willing to censure Israel, not willing to censure. Censure यानी castigate करना उसको बड़ी बुरी तरीके से criticize करना, वो censure आ जाएगा. Lambast, castigate, right? So both the UK government and Labour agree and aren't willing to censure Israel yet for its plans or its behavior. Agree कर लेते हैं लेकिन उसको criticize नहीं करेंगे. It should not be hard to condemn Hamas and name its actions as evil, while also condemning war crimes committed by Israeli forces. अगर हमस ने कुछ किया तो आसानी से तुमने कहा कि देखो ये गलत है. अगर इजराइलीज ने भी वैसा कुछ किया तो फिर why are you not able to say it? This is what the author is saying, that it should not be hard to condemn Hamas and name its actions as evil, while also condemning war crimes committed by Israeli forces. Right, so you can understand what the author is pointing to, that these countries, the two countries mentioned here, are not blaming, they are not pointing out whatever wrong Israel is doing. So, more Palestinians have been killed in Gaza in 1 week than in the 6+ weeks of war in 2014. About half are women and children, while some of those who have lost the most call for peace and understanding. In Britain, others not directly affected sickeningly seek to spread hate. There have been sharp rises reported in anti Semitic and Islamophobic incidents, right? Islamophobic incidents. Things could spiral out of control. Again, a point given by the author कि ये इतने लेवल तक अगर जा रहा है तो आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल हो जाएगा. मतलब जैसे यूक्रेन और रशिया के बीच में वॉर देखते 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 कितने महीने चल गया, वेयर पीपल वर सेइंग कि बहुत जल्दी ही हो जाएगा एंड. No, it still went on with a lot of devastation there. So now this also is like continuing still. So it could spiral, things could spiral out of control. Hezbollah is bombing Israel's northern border. Haaretz says settlers are trying to drag Israel into war in the West Bank. A ceasefire is needed. These small sentences which come in between is the opinion of the author. उसके हिसाब से क्या चल रहा है? पहला, things could spiral out of control, his opinion. A ceasefire is needed, again his opinion. Hamas should free the hostages or face its leadership being wiped out at terrible human cost, as Israel will probably use much force, more force than is needed to address its threat. फोर्स ज्यादा यूज करेंगे, उन्हें वैसे भी खत्म कर देंगे. इट्स बेटर क्या होगा कि आपके जितने ये होस्टेजेस हैं उन्हें जाने दो. तो लॉस ऑफ लाइफ नहीं होगा ना, टेरेबल ह्यूमन कॉस्ट जो उसने बोला है वो नहीं होगा. फिर द हर्ट दैट Israelis must feel cannot be underestimated or minimized, but military overreaction will only deepen the hatred between the two peoples. The current path is a bloody road to nowhere. Ye sentence, first sentence spiral out of control, third sentence ceasefire is needed, and then next sentence that this current path is a bloody road to nowhere. Small sentences, as I said, from the point of view of the author. So when we're reading it in a very critical, with a critical eye, as I said, ये passage बहुत अच्छा है critical रीजनिंग के क्वेश्चंस के लिए. तो इन सेंटेंसेस पे ज्यादा फोकस करेंगे जो ऑथर बोल रहे हैं. Revenge acknowledges no limits, ये भी author की बात है. Whereas it is the recognition of such limits that marks the domain of justice. It and time will allow the necessary search to be resumed for new and better ways for Palestinians and Israelis to live together. टू बी रिज्यूम फॉर न्यू एंड बेटर वेज, यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा सा ऑप्टिमिस्टिक टोन आ जाता है, होपफुल हो जाता है. The scenes we are seeing unfold in Israel and Gaza mark a new chapter in the Middle East conflict. Consequences and scale of losses are already devastating. Recent attack and the war that now follows is likely to shape global politics for years to come. ऐसे बहुत बार हमारे पास पैसेजेस में ऐसे सेंटेंसेस आते हैं कि अभी जो हो रहा है उसका एक लॉन्ग लास्टिंग इफेक्ट होगा. For years to come means whatever is happening in the present generation is going to affect the coming generations also. So consequences and scale of losses are already devastating. मतलब हद से ऊपर हद से बाहर हो गई हैं. And the recent attack and the war that now follows is likely to shape the global politics for years to come. कई सालों तक इसका असर लगेगा और दिखेगा. With correspondents on the ground and reporters live blogging events 24/7, The Guardian is well placed to provide comprehensive fact-checked reporting. This is what you will get in every article on Guardian to help all of us make sense of this perilous moment for the Middle East. That is it. So this much is from the Guardian. So yeah, this was not part of this editorial, but it was from the Guardian. So I wanted to read this part. And so that's all for today. And if I see, uh, see, if you don't know how those Israels and all Jerusalem and all is placed, you should come up with this here. If you can see this, you'll get Jordan, Israel, Egypt. This is the Mediterranean Sea, and this is Tel Aviv. यहाँ पे लेबनान है, यहाँ पे सीरिया है, यहाँ पे गाजा पट्टी है, ये वेस्ट बैंक है और वो जेरूसलम था. So that's all for today. And thank you and stay logical. Next day, some other article, some other newspaper. Thank you.